Hey guys, Obi-Wan here. This is exactly what we're going to do today. How to install Windows XP on VMware Workstation. First things first, check if you have enough space on your hard drive, yeah? I'm going to be installing it on my desktop, so I'm looking at that drive there, local disk C. I'm going to give it 20 gigs, Windows XP, right? Yeah, I'm going to give it 20 gigs. That's more than enough just for a clean installation. We'll go from there. So, you want to keep your files clean, because VMware will make a lot of files that need to be used alongside that VM virtual machine. Yeah. So I made a folder on my desktop just calling it test VM WinXP. That's where I'm going to save my virtual machine. So you want to open up VMware, whichever version you have. You're going to go create new virtual machine. Typical. Settings is recommended. I will install the operating system later. Always pick this if you're installing it off a image drive, as you can see on my desktop under the test VM WinXP folder. There's an image of Windows XP sitting there. So you want to just pick that option. Trust me, it's the simplest method. If you click the install with the disk image and you look for it now and you insert the disk image now, it will ask you for like a CD key, all that. Say for example, if you just want to test the operating system out and you want that 30-day trial period, you just go, I will install the operating system later. Leave it on Microsoft Windows. Drop down WinXP. Where's it at? My one is WinXP Professional, so that is the one I'm gonna pick. That's my. I'm just gonna name it what's on the desktop. Test VM WinXP. See the location of this. This is where we want to browse and open up the folder that we made on the desktop. So I'm on the desktop right now. Test VM WinXP. So now it'll save all the data of that virtual machine into that folder there. Test VM WinXP, that's in the desktop. Cool. Yeah, and trust me, it does create quite a lot of files, so you just want to leave it there in that folder, so that way if you were to ever delete that VM, all you have to do is simply right click, delete that folder, and the entire VM is gone. So you won't have to go around looking for where those setting files are, you won't have to go around looking for where the hard drive file is, etc. Okay, so we're just going to go next. Just going to give it 20. Store virtual disk as a single file, split virtual disk into multiple files. What's the difference? If you split into multiple files, makes it easier to move the virtual machine. But, it says that but may reduce performance with very large disks. That's completely fine. But the main point over here is, if you store it as a single file, you can use snapshots, as far as I understand. I might be wrong, but as far as I remember, if you use this option, you can use snapshots. And snapshots are like save states. You can save your virtual machine in a state, and say if you did something wrong or something, installation got corrupted and it froze your entire operating system and it keeps getting the blue screen of death, you can just use a snapshot, revert it back to a certain date where you took the snapshot, and then your computer will be running to how it was for that certain stage. So we're just going to go store virtual disk as a single file. Customize the hardware. This is where you want to give it specs. I'm just going to give it 1 gig is enough. 1024. I'm going to give it 2. No, actually I'm just going to leave it with 1 because it's Windows XP. Network adapter, I'm just going to leave it as NAT. So now it's made. Okay, cool. So if you notice here, there's nothing here, right? So if I go close and go finish, see how it's generating all these files? That's fine, that's normal. It generates all those files. It actually generates quite a bit more once you actually turn the machine on. I'm going to put it on the side here just so you guys can see. Nice. So what we can do now is You gotta pardon my dog's barking. What you can do now is you want to edit the virtual machine and insert that image that we were talking about before. You're gonna go use ISO image, browse for it on the desktop. Where is it at? So Windows 7, Windows XP Professional with Service Pack 3. That is a 32-bit version. Just gonna double click. That is a ISO image, by the way. Even though it opens with the WinRAR, I made that option available via my WinRAR application, saying open all ISO images with WinRAR. But the type of file is the ISO. Excuse me. Okay, so now we're just gonna go OK, and make sure that connect to that power on is checked. Where was it? That one. And now you want to go power on this virtual machine, and you'll notice over here how many more files that this will generate once you actually turn that virtual machine on. The more and more we use it, the more and more files it will generate. So this is why it was important to make a folder and save that virtual machine into a folder, because it helps heaps just to keep it nice and neat. And these are all the removable devices that it's saying you can insert into your virtual machine from your host into your guest. Okay, remember that host is a machine you're running VMware on, guest is your virtual machine. Just think of it like that. I'm just gonna go don't show this hint again. And this will ask you, this notification here will ask you to install VMware tools, which you can do so after installing the actual virtual machine. So I'm just going to close that just so we have a clearer view. So this is the Windows XP setup screen. This is how it looks. I'll guide you through the setup as well. Press enter. F8 for I agree. To create a, press enter and unpartition space. Format partition VMware file system. I'm just going to use a quick method because there's nothing on there. And when you're on VMware, guys, if you notice, my mouse pointer is not on my screen at the moment. I'm moving my mouse. It's not hidden in the corner anywhere. It's just not on the screen. And the reason for that is it's actually inside the virtual machine. And the only way to get it out of that virtual machine, because you only have a single mouse pointer, and it kind of changes its environment depending on where you click on the screen. So right now it's inside my virtual machine, and the way to get out of that setting is if you press Control and Alt on your keyboard, just the two buttons by themselves. Notice that it should appear somewhere on my screen. There you go, it appeared. So now I can control my Windows wherever I need to click in my normal Windows, my host machine. And this only tends to happen when you're installing it, like when you're bare bone installing the operating system. Say for example, if Windows XP was running and there was a desktop over here, I would easily be able to go in and out and it wouldn't matter. It'll come outside by itself and I wouldn't have to press Control and Alt as much, whereas if you're setting it up for the first time, you will. So let's say if I click in here again, the mouse is gone. I won't have control out of that environment, out of that Windows XP environment, and I want control, so I'm just going to press Control and Alt, get it back. I'm just going to go remind me. I'm just going to say never remind me. I'll explain that to you guys once the installation is done. I pressed enter myself just to forcefully reboot it. And if you don't want your window resizing automatically like how it is now, there's a method to get rid of that. Over here in view, if you click on it, it says auto size. Uncheck this auto fit window, and then now it'll just stay like that till you install VMware tools. And while the setup is going on, I'll explain what VMware tools are. VMware tools are the drivers that VMware will install in your guest virtual machine for it to connect 100% with your host. So it installs all the drivers, installs all the small drivers that your virtual machine needs for it to work perfectly as if it were working on an actual machine. And then you'd install the drivers of the operating system and the machine. It'll work seamlessly. That's the idea of VMware tools. And the guys that made VMware put a lot of thought into that, I'm guessing, because that thing works amazing, and it makes it as if it is installed on an actual physical box. It just makes everything more seamless. Just think of it as it's installing its drivers. That's pretty much all it is. It says setup will complete in approximately 37 minutes. And what I might do is I might actually pause the video over here, because that is a very long time. I'm just trying to decide if it is actually 37 minutes or is it going to cut down to like 10 minutes depending on the computer speed. Nah, it actually does look like 37 minutes. Wow, 36. Okay, I'm going to pause the video here, guys, and I'll come back when it's close to finishing. It's asked me to change my region and stuff. I'm just going to click here. Look for Anglaise, New Zealand. No, I'm not on US. I'm just going to go... keyboard shortcuts don't work in XP, so you're gonna have to actually scroll up. New Zealand. Really? New Zealand. Okay. Details. New Zealand. Okay. Click next. And your full name. Test VM Win XP. Organization OB1. So see, it's asked me to enter the product key, and I said enter the product key will be required later if continued, blah blah blah. If you choose not to enter the product key now, you might need to reinstall Windows later and potentially lose files and information. You might need to purchase another edition of Windows. Now this message box would have appeared earlier before you even started the installation if you went to choose install from an image drive. Oh, image file, sorry. This is what I didn't want. Right now, if we click next, this message box comes and I don't want to enter product key now. It is still going to continue as it just did. If we were to do it then, it wouldn't have continued. It wouldn't have let you bypass that. I don't know why it does that. It just does. As far as I'm concerned, it wouldn't have let us bypass. Same thing. I'm not going to put a password. Click next. Where we at? So 32 minutes now. I'm going to pause it, come back if anything else pops up. Another stoppage. I'm just going to go typical settings. work group. So pausing here again, I'll come back when another pop-up box appears. It just went past the installation screen. I think it requires a restart, and then there's a little bit more of installation, and then it's done. So it's restarting automatically. To improve the appearance of your visual elements, Windows will automatically show thing. Thank you. Yes, I can read that. Wow, haven't seen this in so long. So yeah, this is how Windows XP installation used to look, guys, for those who've never seen it before. Wow, it's becoming quite a bit choppy for some reason. Don't save. Go next. I don't know why it's become so choppy. Wow, that's extremely choppy. Alright, now next. So that was the initial setup. It should take us to the desktop now. Hope you guys enjoyed that music. Some old school Windows XP installation music. So that's just the initial setup, and we're on desktop. Just waiting for the Windows XP welcome tool page and the recycle bin. There's the recycle bin. Cool. Play the non-animated version, and then a web page will open, so you can just close it and that notification will disappear permanently. Done. Okay, so now what you want to do is install VMware Tools. So I'm going to click VM, install VMware Tools, and this will just take a moment for it to appear in your guest virtual machine. "30 days left," that's completely fine with me. And if you notice, the window is actually not expanding, the window is centered. Once you install VMware Tools, the graphics drivers, the audio drivers, the keyboard, the mouse, whatever, the input, the output drivers will all be installed with the VMware Tools, and it should run smooth. Right now it's a bit choppy. If you notice, I'm trying to move my mouse and it's disappearing and it's moving very slow. And the way it's meant to move is like that, but it's actually moving like that. So the first thing you want to just do is install VMware Tools. Just want to go typical. I would pause it, but sometimes VMware Tools installs really fast and I might miss the installation, so I'm not going to pause it, I'm just going to let the installation run. It is taking its time. Wonder why. There we go, it's finished. It'll probably ask for a restart, and we're good to go ahead with that restart. I'm just gonna take the image out. Just gonna say use physical drive. Okay. So you notice how the mouse is very smooth now. I can drag, highlight, and you notice how that display setting message, the notification message said the resolution is very low at the moment. So what you can do now is you can just go view, you can just go fit guest now, and this will maximize it to the screen size of the window, of the VMware window. So now you can just do whatever you want normally, and this is how you go about installing Windows XP on VMware. And what version is this? Let me just check. That's completely fine. It's just taking a bit longer. My laptop seems to be a bit slow today. So yeah, Windows XP Professional with Service Pack 3. Test VM, that's what we wanted. So yeah, everything seems to be working, and that's how you go about it again, like I said previously. And you can do whatever you want in this now. You can drag and drop files back and forth. You can connect to your network to see who is on your network, because you're sharing your network as a NAT client. Wait, did I just do that? Yes, I just opened it. So if I go control panel, where was network places? There you go. We should be able to see the laptop and my desktop if it loads. It may not, which is completely fine. Windows XP Starfield, where's it? That's the one. Man, I missed the screensaver. Especially the one with Windows 2000 where you used to have windows instead of stars. So yeah, thanks for watching guys. I hope this helped you. Rate, comment, subscribe if it did. If there's any questions, ask below. And it just performs like a normal machine. So you will turn it off, turn off. Once it comes back to the screen where it's like a black window over here, it gives you the name and it's got the start or edit virtual machine over here, you're safe to close VMware Workstation. Oh, this was what I changed before because I took off the ISO file. So when you're at this window right now, this stage, it's completely safe to power off and completely safe to edit the amount of memory, processor, choose your hard disk, whatever, whatnot. Cool, thanks for watching. I'm just going to close this and I'm just going to show you how to go about dealing with the folder. So that's where VMware Workstation installed Windows XP. If you go property of this, it's 1.53 gigs, but when you open it and say if you fill up your hard drive, it'll start allocating more and more space up to 20 gigs, and once it hits 20 gigs it shouldn't go past more than that because we've set it to 20 gigs in the workstation itself. That will limit the operating system virtually. And if you wanted to delete it, simply delete, and there's your virtual machine completely safely deleted. Thanks for watching guys. Rate, comment, subscribe. Hope it helped you.